like a red wine stain.
This is me. This is Dylan. This is I. I've never done this before. This is weird. I'm kind of just sitting here in a room, smoking a bowl, talking to myself. But, got some things I want to say. Let's start saying them. I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm ready for it to be warm. I can fucking tell you that right now. For those of you who don't know, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's, anywhere in the Midwest really is like this, but, you know, it'll be 70 degrees one day, and then the next day it's snowing, and you're just, you know, fucking cold. Go from warm to cold, and then you got COVID. But I'm just tired of it. I'm ready for warm. I'm ready for it to be warm. I'm ready to go get in the new pool. Me and my girlfriend Sophie moved into a new apartment complex recently, and it's actually pretty nice. I'm actually really surprised by all the amenities that they had. They got a yoga room. They got a tennis court, a pool, a gym. Got a lot of stuff. It's actually pretty cool. I have been really exhausted lately, though. So I'm working at Target. I was working at Target in 2020 of, like, when the pandemic happened. I moved down to Nashville, and it was right before COVID. It was probably January of 2020 is when I moved to Nashville. And I moved down there with all these plans. I was like, I'm going to start writing with people. I'm going to get in the scene. I'm going to go out and network, and I'm going to do all these cool things. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. And then all those plans kind of went to shit, if you think about it. I was on tour with Rome from Sublime with Rome, and then Duddy from Dirty Heads. They had the Rome and Duddy tour, and I was able to go on tour with them and do a couple weeks on the road with them. It was cool. And then at Albuquerque, I got to meet Travis Tritt, and I got to sit down with Travis Tritt backstage for Travis Tritt and Cowboy Bob Cerrone, the UFC fighter. They both were there in time to actually see my set, and it was funny. Cerrone was like, I'm not gay, but you got a pretty voice. And I was like, thank you. But it was really cool. Travis got to listen to him sing, and I'm really grateful for those opportunities. But then the rest of when I went home. The rest of their tour got canceled, so I went back to Nashville, of course. And then that's when everything really got shut down, and I was kind of like, this sucks. I can't really go and do anything. And a lot of the situations that I was even there to begin with kind of shit the bed a little bit too. I had even just the label I was with at the time had just partnered with Sony, and we had a release plan for my EP that got lost, I guess, somehow. But I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, I get it because shit happens, and everyone was fucked up because of that. Everyone's shit was messed up. So I really do understand that to a point. And I'm not fucking Justin Timberlake, so they're not going to be super worried about my release, which I understand. But that's just part of being a part of a conglomerate, like something like that. Well, somewhat a part of it, which I've come to just realize that I really don't. It needs to be just me. Just because, I mean, it's hard for me to even depend on myself, let alone have, other people depend on me. Like other, big labels that we need this from you, we need that from you. I'm the type of person that, like, and I know I'm learning now that I need to kick it into gear, and I need to do the things that I've had so much anxiety about doing over the years, which is a whole nother podcast. But I'm learning now that I have to kick it into gear, and that, you can't really rely on other people to bring your vision to what it needs to be as much as you're going to. And, sometimes having help is great, but I think that right now I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to figure out the people around me and my circles that can help me. And they see my vision, and, do it with my friends and do it with the people around me instead of, like the people that just don't know you. I've been in a lot of bad deals and a lot of weird business just because over the years, this all happened. Everything happened for me when I was 16, which is such a weird thing. I was talking to my friend earlier, and he's like, was talking to some girl about, Dylan Holland. She's like, oh yeah, he's like big on social media, and it's always funny when people say that, because like people act like social media isn't like real people like on like the internet. It just doesn't make sense. And it's obvious like that I'm not totally irrelevant compared to what I used to be when I was a kid, but it's a lot of people don't realize what I went through back then, because a lot of people weren't on the social media wave yet, because Twitter and Instagram weren't as huge as they are now. I feel like they were kind of looked at as not like TikTok, but more like, the first wave of TikTok, when not everybody wanted to jump on and get aboard because it was something new and something they didn't understand. So I think it was still kind of in the realm of that. So I specifically remember certain times going to when we were on tour. We stopped at a Kansas City. I think I might have been on one of Jacob's tours or the OMG tours that I did. I don't remember, but we stopped at a Walmart in Kansas City, and somebody knew who we were. And that's just that's social media, but that's also real life. You know what I mean? So I think I don't know. I think it's very contradicting to say that, because we're not all robots yet. I mean, most of us are. Most of us are fucking robots, but I don't know what that means, the whole social media famous, because right now I'm not shit. I mean, I'm on social media. I mean, I'll always be who I am, and what I've accomplished will always mean a lot, but I don't make an effort. I mean, if that's not hard to tell, I don't have the drive like I used to anymore. I'm trying to get that back. I've gotten that back with kind of working on myself as a human being, a little human being running around with his beans, being beanie, running around in his beanie. I think it just comes with time, honestly, because I feel like I dealt with a lot of stuff when I was younger, and maybe did some things to create trauma for myself. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to the root of all the problems, but I'm going to make my way there. But it's weird, man. I just woke up one day and had a bunch of anxiety and had like imposter syndrome. Felt like I wasn't me. I felt like I didn't deserve everything that I had. And then part of that came with all the, the trauma with all my bad business and stuff like that. But at the same time, I still don't know. I still do not know. But that's for another podcast. See, we got a lot of shit to talk about. But back to Nashville. Yeah, so COVID happened, and I wasn't doing shit. And as was, nobody was. I was working at Target and coming home and drinking Trolleys and just getting fucking drunk. That's all I was doing. And I was getting drunk before the pandemic. So like that's what I'm saying is, like, pre-pandemic I was already borderline alcoholism. Pandemic, full-blown alcoholic. It was just, what the fuck else are you gonna do? You're not allowed to leave anywhere. You're sitting there playing Duck Duck Goose for 6 hours with all your friends, just wasted. Like, what the fuck else are you supposed to do? There's nothing to do. So that's what we did. And I think that for a lot of people that, a lot of people had drug issues and were addicts and alcoholics and stuff pre-pandemic. So when that happened, a lot of people relapsed, and that's fucked up. It's fucked up that we were all put just to sit inside, and then people die from that, not even being COVID. They die from their own problems that they have. It's kind of sad. It's really sad, actually. But what I was going to say is that, that really, for me, made it to where I didn't even want to drink after the pandemic. So I moved back to Ohio from Nashville, and at this time I was still drinking. I mean, I was still going out every weekend, and I'd say I would drink during the week too. I mean, hell, if I went out to eat somewhere at a restaurant, I was getting a drink. Yeah, every day. I mean, there was no, and I'm always going out to eat. I mean, shit, I like to cook, but I mean, at this time, I was just moving back from Nashville to Ohio, and I didn't really have a steady home, so I didn't fucking really have anywhere to cook, or couldn't really afford groceries and to go. I could afford, going out to eat. Like, I mean, I know that really doesn't make much sense, but that's, the mentality I had at the time was just kind of like, I'm just going to go out with my friends and eat. I had been away from home for a year, so I really just wanted to be with my friends. And at that point in time, my friends like to go out and drink, which is, it's just what we did. I'm from fucking Ohio. So, yeah. I came home. Oh, fuck. Yep. There she blows. I came home, and I was home for probably wasn't even home for 24 to 48 hours, to be honest with you. There was this girl. I randomly messaged her on Facebook. I don't even think I had ever talked to her, which was crazy. I've never talked to this girl in my life. She's from my hometown, and I just, kind of seen her. She was a great person, but we didn't really work out as that. Probably been pretty good friends. But, yeah. She was great, though. She actually, she kind of pushed my spiritual journey a little bit. I would have never ended up with my current girlfriend if it wasn't for her. And I know that might sound fucked up, but I mean that in a genuine way. Like, I everything happens for a reason. So I just think that our paths were supposed to cross. Maybe I was supposed to teach her something about life. Maybe she was supposed to teach me something about life. I'm just grateful that I'm in the partnership that I'm in now. She's great. And, I don't know. It just feels right. Writing better music and all that. So it makes life just feel a little, ow, fuck. Just busted my noggin. It makes life feel a little bit better. It makes life nice. I did just put out a song. And I wrote this song a couple weeks ago, actually. This isn't some old song I've just been sitting on. I decided to put it out. I wrote it, and I recorded it, and I was like, fuck, this is really good. I don't have a plan, but I just want to put new music out for people, for it to be there. It's like, I feel I'm in such a weird place in my life musically. I feel like, I mean, I'm really just making music for me, I feel like, at this point. I mean, I have people that want to listen, but the reason I'm making it, I feel like, is just because I want to hear something good, and because it's my outlet. And I think that I make pretty good music, but everybody makes good music, you know what I mean? There's so many people out there that make great, incredible music. I think I'm in that category of people. I mean, I would say, and I don't mean that in an uppity, I'm better than you type of way. I just feel like I make good music. I've connected to a lot of people, so I feel like I'm respected enough to be able to say that, and say it proud. But there's so many, every single day I hear somebody on Spotify, or I come across somebody's music on YouTube, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, man, this dude isn't popping, and he sounds like this, or his songs are arranged like this. I'm like, fuck, like, he's so good, and if this is what I'm up against, but that's just, all artists are that way. I feel like everybody's kind of comparing themselves to other people, and social media definitely doesn't help that. But this is the first time that I've ever really not had anybody, like, as a team. I don't really have a team of people. It's really just me and Sophie. She helps me. She does the graphic design, and she'll come up with ideas, and she's gonna start helping me with TikTok too. But TikTok too, that's fun to say. TikTok too. We're moving over to TikTok too, guys. But yeah, it's weird because it's just me. It's just me and her, and I don't have a plan. I'm just putting shit out. I just haven't released music in 3 years, so I think the only plan that I really even have in my head is just I'm gonna release a song like every other Friday or every Friday. Right now, I don't even have one picked out or worked on because I just don't fucking like. I'm just exhausted. You know, I don't feel like fucking doing anything. Life. That's why. It's just hard right now. And that's been a really big battle my whole life, honestly. I feel like this year and the past year have really opened me up and I've gotten better. But I don't know when what happened or what clicked in my head, or I really don't know. It's weird. It's like one day I just woke up and I had this anxiety, and like I just didn't want to be Dylan Holland anymore. I just wanted to be Dylan, you know? And like, but I didn't at the same time, which is crazy because like this is what I love to do. You know, music is what I love to do. I love to talk to people, and so I would never wish that on myself to not be that. But there was a part of me that was just like I felt pressure to be me, and I just kind of caved, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened, but my music's only getting better. That's the cool thing, and I'm really proud of that. I don't mean that in a cocky way, but I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the progression of my music and my career, in making music. Things will get better. Things are only gonna get better, and that's what I'm really optimistic about. Just because this is inside of me, and it's been inside of me my whole life. It's like it's inside of me. I told her the other day, hey, listen, I got a song inside of me. And I just felt it. I just felt it in me forever. So I know I'm supposed to do this, but I think that the universe has a plan for everybody, and that we don't know when it happens, and everything happens for a reason. I feel like if I would have got super famous or super rich back in the day, I probably would be dead right now, to be honest with you. Because I was doing drugs and everything back then. I was crazy. Not when I was like 18, 19, 20, but like when I got in my, I was crazy. I wasn't like doing heroin or crack or anything. But I wasn't cracked out. But I was definitely doing drugs for sure. I mean, it just made everything better. I mean, what the fuck? Of course. That's what they do. You know? Making music on drugs is immaculate. Yeah. But that's like everybody fucking knows that. That's like throughout the test of time. Look at the Beatles. Look at the Beatles. And I wasn't like doing acid and making music and shit. I was just like, which now that I think about it, like later in life when I did do that, and it made a lot more sense. And it wasn't with acid, it was with shrooms. But I liked stimulation. I don't like downers. I never liked downers and shit. I like being stimulated. I wasn't like smoking meth. I wasn't like a meth head. It wasn't like a dairy. It wasn't like that. I was just like stimulated. I like being stimulated. When I was in 3rd grade, my teachers were like, told my parents, they're like, this kid is fucking crazy. They're like, y'all gotta do something about your kid. Just straight up. And I just couldn't pay attention. And of course, you know what that means. You know, they put you on Adderall or Ritalin. I think for me it was Ritalin. So just remember, I took it for years, and I was just like a zombie, you know. And I didn't, at the time, when you're a kid like that, you don't realize that you're on clinical meth. You're on clinical methamphetamine, learning about fucking Berenstain Bears. Like, I'd fucking have my little action figures when I got home, and they had lives. They had more of a life than I did. Like, they had a whole story plot of, like, it was like its own fucking soap opera. Like, me and my brother would play wiffle ball, And I got on Microsoft Word and literally drafted up contracts for me and him to play wiffle ball in the front yard, just because I was probably speeding my balls off in 4th grade or 5th grade or something. You know, like, you didn't realize it, but like, you're like, why am I drafting? Why am I pretending I'm in the MLB right now? I'm hitting wiffle balls into my neighbor's yard and hitting his beer cans off his truck. So I took that until I was, I don't even know, probably 7th grade maybe. No, I don't know if it was even that long. I'd probably say 5th or 6th grade, to be completely honest. Maybe 6th. Because it was just that had me skinny. At one point, at one point, I like picked out all my eyelashes. I don't know why. My yearbook picture, I'm just sitting there without any eyelashes in my picture. And I had like a shaved head, so it looked like I just came out of chemo or something. It was pretty fucking wild. But that shit fucked me up when I was a kid. And it messed with my weight. I was like 80 pounds in 8th grade or something. I don't remember. That's what I mean. It was like a zombie. I just don't remember. Once I got pulled off of that, I started eating, obviously. I started eating more. And things got a little bit better. I was always really small, though. And I still, being off of that, I was so conditioned to being on it. By the time I got off of it, I did so bad in school. School just went downhill for me. It was like, I was right. I just didn't give a fuck, to be honest with you. I didn't give a fuck about school at all. I was, like my freshman year of high school or something, me and my buddies would, this is wild. Me and my buddies would, I'm not going to say their names, but it was right when K2, the Spice, like, was, like, big, and it had just came out, and people were smoking that shit. Like it was fucking, like it was crack. So maybe I did smoke crack. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know. But I remember that we would smoke that before school. Like, 7:30 in the morning, smoke that shit in the parking lot. Dude, I don't know how I did. But I would have to go into English class. Shout out to Miss Luberst. She was awesome. I don't know how she had to have known. But I was fried. And that shit made you kind of trip out a little bit. Like, you started seeing squiggles and shit. I remember sitting there and everything was squiggling. Shit was wild. And I like I said, I don't know. Hearing other people's stories, I'm pretty sure somebody ate somebody's face on that shit. I'm pretty sure somebody just fucking bit them. Just went to town. And I never ate anybody on that shit. I never fucking... But hearing that, I was like, damn, did I? I might have. I might have eaten a couple people. But I would smoke that before school. Of course I would get high before school. And it's crazy thinking about it because, like, if I think about, like, freshman, sophomore year, I was popping on YouTube back then. That's when I was, like, making heavy covers. And, of course, I was smoking weed back then. I wasn't doing drugs in high school. I wasn't doing that. I was smoking weed in high school. That's all I did, all throughout high school. I was one of the kids that I wasn't a cool kid, but I wasn't a loser either. I was just kind of cool loser, you know? I just kind of hung out with everybody. I hung out with the cool kids because I wanted to be cool. And then they just kind of tolerated me, I feel like. And then I just kind of hung out with the potheads. And then I even hung out with the people that said that weed was going to make me, like, die or get pregnant and all that. I hung out with them, too. So I just hung out with everybody. I hung out with a lot of girls. I think I had more girlfriends in school than I did guy friends. So people probably thought I was gay because I liked girls. Because that's just kind of how everybody acted back then. That's what that meant. It meant you were gay, you know? But now I'm sober. And that's where the rubber meets the road. But all that to say that, honestly. I don't drink anymore. My kitty's meowing. What's wrong? Come here. I don't drink anymore. I do smoke weed. I'm sober from everything besides weed. Sophie does the same thing. She barely smokes weed. She only smokes like after she gets home from work, and it's nice. It feels good. It feels good not to be, hungover in the morning and all that other bullshit. Your skin looks nicer. It just feels good for me. It works for me. So I'm happy. But I'm going to wrap this shit up. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm going to have some people on here eventually. I made this one kind of short, just a little bit of an intro, just to kind of get the feel of it. And it feels nice. It feels like I could pet it for a while. I appreciate you guys, even if you listen to part of this. But definitely let me know if you want to hear more and what you're excited to, questions you may have. I'm going to give a number on the next podcast for you guys to call in and leave voicemails and ask questions and do cool stuff like that to get you engaged, and it's gonna be fun. I appreciate you guys for chilling with Dylan. That's kind of cute. That's cute, boy. I like that. You want to say goodbye? Well, I love you guys. Stay blessed. But it would never be enough to get her through. Oh, I'm sure that I shouldn't let all hell break loose and ruin beautiful things like a red wine stain.